Hello, Titans. Today we're going to talk about context clues. What are context clues? Context clues are hints or clues in a sentence or paragraph that help you to determine the meaning of an unknown word. There are 6 different strategies we use to figure out the meanings of words. Let's look at those now. The first one is a synonym. A synonym is another word that means the same thing as the unknown word. When we use this strategy, we look for synonyms in the sentence that might help us figure out the unknown word. For example, the slender woman was so thin that her clothes were too big on her. Slender is our unknown word. But if I look at the sentence, I see the word thin. Thin helps me to understand that slender means very skinny. And again, also seeing that her clothes were too big on her also helps me understand the word slender. Our next strategy is an antonym. An antonym is a word that means the opposite of the unknown word. For example, we have, unlike Bob's room, which was immaculate, Noah's room was very messy. So the two things that help me is seeing that word unlike Bob's room and the word messy. Messy is an antonym of immaculate. And since I know that Noah's and Bob's rooms are not the same, immaculate must mean that Bob's room is clean and Noah's is messy. With the definition context clue, it is when we restate the unknown word by defining what it means within the sentence. For example, the arbitrator, the neutral person chosen to settle the argument, came to a decision. In this case, we have the definition right inside the sentence of what an arbitrator is. So I know an arbitrator is a neutral person who helps settle arguments. With examples, it's often like a synonym. However, the author will provide many more examples than just one like you might see with a synonym. Here we have our sentence. The marsh or swamp was a wet and muggy place. Those examples, swamp, wet, muggy, help me to understand what a marsh is. Our next strategy is Greek Latin word parts. Here, we are able to break down unknown words into prefixes, suffixes, or root words to determine the meaning. Here are some examples. Centipede. Cent means 100. Ped means feet. Centipede, 100 feet. Biped. Bi means 2 and ped means feet. Biped means walking on 2 feet. Manuscript. Manu is hand and script is write. So a manuscript is to handwrite something. Our next strategy is using surrounding words and schema. Schema is when you use your background knowledge and your own experiences to figure out an unknown word. Here's our example. Tommy likes to eat Jabberwocky for lunch. His brother prefers his Jabberwocky to have sausage and pepperoni on it. Their mom took a frozen Jabberwocky out of the freezer and cooked it for dinner. It was yummy. Now, if I didn't know what Jabberwocky was, I would be able to use the surrounding words and my own background knowledge to figure out that Jabberwocky means pizza. So using that background knowledge and those surrounding words can really help when trying to figure out a word. Today you are going to be doing two different practices. Your first practice is using the link in Google Classroom to complete the context clues form. Your second practice is going to be your context clues task cards. You and your partner will work together on these cards.